Good morning. It is Thursday? I think it's Thursday. I had a rough night last night. I'm not going to go into why, but anyone watching in my gaming group will kind of have an idea why I'm having a rough morning this morning. But a discussion happened yesterday that's caused me to break off of what was my expected routine of continuing to talk through the world building series. See, one of my players asked the group for advice about something that was happening in a game that he played with another group. Now, for anyone watching who's not in our group, just to describe the dynamic, we do meet on Roll20 2, sometimes 3 days a week to play games. We have a Skype group chat that we keep running 24/7 that people just comment in as and when. But then members also do play with other groups on other days. I'd say it's probably a fairly common setup in a lot of digital groups now. So basically he was asking about something that had happened in this other group's game to see what our outsiders' take on it would be. So just to kind of recap as well as I remember it, his character, as is part of his background, had been taken by a cult, treated very poorly, eventually rescued from the cult, trained, became a paladin. I'm tired. That's not part of his backstory. I'm just tired. And basically, part of his view of good was set in the fact of this group that had tormented him as a child being evil. He was on the path of the vengeance paladin. He was level 2, so he hadn't actually sworn the oath of vengeance yet. But it was clearly that was the way he was going. And these evil people who had tormented him had started burning villages. They had started destroying towns. And through the events in the game, and I don't have all of the specifics, but I have enough to work from. Through the events of the game, his character was basically given a choice of go to the next village, warn them, and save them. Because even if he warned them, I'm not convinced they would be saved. Or go after the evil people who were burning the villages and kill them to stop them doing any more. And his character decided that the greatest option for good in the end was to unfortunately sacrifice the village, possibly, and eliminate the evil, to kill the evil. And then apparently the DM on that night called him out and basically said that to do that, to leave the village to die, was an evil act, and he would have to give up Paladin and become a Blackguard because he did that. Now, this is what's becoming the problem with D&D today. Idiot DMs. I'm gonna break down a few obvious things. First off, one act doesn't make you change. You don't go from Paladin to Blackguard because of a single decision. I mean, I suppose if that one decision was like, you know, destroying the primary church of your own deity and cursing his name on the steps, maybe that one decision. Maybe. Well, probably that one. But one choice made about how you do good, when the object of that choice is to do good, does not make you a blackguard. It does not betray your oath. Second, as much as it sounds bizarre, allowing people to die, not an evil act. Not evil. Standing by when you could help them and doing nothing, yes, that's kind of borderline, that's evil, that's messed up. You shouldn't be doing that. But allowing people to die because you're busy trying to do good elsewhere and can't do both is not evil. You know, there are 2 buildings on fire in a town. You go and rescue the people out of one of them. The other ones die. Was that evil? No, because you were doing good. You were doing what you could do. You can't always do everything. So the failure to do good is not evil. The failure to do anything and allowing people to die borderlines on it. But if people die because you're doing good elsewhere, that's not evil. Now, the argument also came up of, is killing the bad guys evil? And a lot of people says, well, killing's always evil. No, it's not. There are dozens and dozens and dozens of cases, historically speaking, where slaying evil to preserve the greater good is a good and justifiable act. You go back as far as the Bible, and I'm getting religious here, so if your religion's not the same as mine, I apologize. I'm not trying to push religion. It's an example. They probably exist in all of the religions, but this is the one I know. In the Bible, God actually told his people, I want you to go down into that village of my enemies who are evil in my eyes, and I want you to kill every man, woman, child, and animal. Destroy them utterly. That is a good act. Destroying, and this, like I said, this is in the Bible, so this is my example. If you have a different religion, there's probably one in there too. But that to me says that there are some situations where killing is the right choice. I'm not saying it's often. Don't quote me like I'm trying to say that. It's very rare that killing is the right choice. But if you have someone who is about to set off a bomb, and this is getting quite topical now, so apologies if I offend anyone. Well, actually, no, I'm not really that sorry, because it's just the way the world is. If you have someone who's about to set off a bomb and kill 100 people, and you put a bullet between their eyes before they can do that, That's a good thing. Period. End of. No debate. He was about to blow up 100 people. You blew him up instead. Those 100 people are now safe. Good job. Now, in the example that we have here, let's say you have a guy that's already blown up 5 buildings and is going to keep blowing up more buildings. And then you know that he's actually set bombs in a building and they're going to blow up. And you have to then choose to either stop him or stop the explosion. Based on the fact that he's already done this 5 other times, and you know he will continue to do it if he gets away, by saving the building and letting him get away, you're dooming the next lot, and the next, and the next, and the next. By letting the building explode and killing him, you're saving a greater number of people. That's good. It sucks, but it's good. That is not an evil act. At the very most, if you want to look at it as good and evil, fine. He's doing good and evil. I'm being really, really forgiving there because I don't believe that at all. But at the very least, then if you say it that way, then that is still not enough to betray his oath. Because he has still balanced the scales. Now, as I'm getting into this, I haven't even mentioned the fact that very at the start, at the beginning, we called out that he's already declared that the oath he is taking. So also, bear that in mind. You're talking about him betraying his oath and having to become a blackguard. He hasn't taken the oath yet. You can't betray the Paladin's oath before you take the oath. It doesn't work that way. And the oath that he's taking is the oath of vengeance. Now, let me just go a bit further into this now and say that it's very hard to betray the oath of vengeance by doing anything. You would have to pretty much start attacking other paladins to betray the oath of vengeance. Killing evil is what the oath of vengeance is all about. And even if you want to take it through the darkest path, what the oath of vengeance is a sin eater. Read the description of it again. Look at it. Vengeance paladins are not pleasant people. They are not nice guys. They are bastards who are completely set in knowing what is evil and what is wrong and doing whatever it takes to destroy those things. The Vengeance Paladins will do some dark shit because the greater good demands it. And they will do those dark things for the greater good so no one else has to. They take that burden on themselves. They do the things that no one else wants to have to do because they need doing. That's a Vengeance Paladin. So, going back to the example, It sucks that that next town is going to burn. But you know what? These guys have to die. Good demands that we stop evil. We don't just deal with the effects of evil. We don't just let evil continue being evil and try to do damage control around it. No, we stop evil. We slay the darkness. That's what a Vengeance Paladin does. So, I guess the moral of all of this is, if you know your character, and if you know the motivations of your character, and the DM says something otherwise, you either have to look at it as the DM is always right, this is his world, in which case he's fucked the world and he's an idiot, or he's made a decision that doesn't fit with any world because it's ludicrous, and at which point he's an idiot. So basically, what I was able to take away from this conversation with one of my players is that this other GM that he's playing this game with is a fucking idiot. Because there's no way that you could look at a player in that situation and tell him that it was going to force him down the path of a blackguard. There's no way. It's not evil to start with. Even if it was, you can't betray an oath you haven't taken. And even if he had taken an oath, he was taking the oath of vengeance, which says that's the right thing to do anyway. I mean, I was completely mind blown at some of the things he was saying that this DM was telling him. It was just... It made me realize so much of why our game struggles. Because idiots like that are involved. I really wish, and maybe I'm being a bit arrogant here, but I really wish everyone out there could have a good DM. I feel that I provide that to my group. We've got a couple other players within the group that also DM games, and they provide that to our group. So, I mean, we're quite lucky. We have 2 or 3 good DMs. And I realize whenever I hear stories like this that a lot of groups out there don't have a good DM. And it sucks to hear it. It's depressing that there are people out there who want to play, who want to enjoy this game, who will end up giving up on it because they can't find a decent person to run a game for them. And I don't know how to fix that, but it sucks. Oh well, I'm done ranting for the day. Well, probably not, but I'm not going to record any more of it. Yeah, so if I haven't completely insulted you or put you off or anything like that, like, subscribe, all that stuff, come back tomorrow. We'll either be talking about world building or I might be ranting again, who knows? I haven't decided yet.